or you got legitimately surprised. You were never cheated, is what I'm kind of getting at. You saw the secondary objective there. Some of these guys will actually be officers. I've already got off of him, so it doesn't count. But there'll be things like secret letters and secret bits of intel. I'm going to be cheeky here, because that gun's firing over this camp. It gives air cover, gives sound cover to this entire area. So I'm actually going to be using it to be really cheeky. Pop that guy in the face from all the way back here. When he's closest to this edge. Actually, do it further back with the sound cover to work actually. The point is, we want him on this side of the barrel so that the gun crew doesn't see him have his head explode right next to him. You know, because even if you kill someone in sound cover, if it's right in front of someone, it's pointless. So I'm just going to wait for him to come back into position back here. This isn't the most graphically impressive level. It does the job though. I mean, like the burlap on the sandbags, you might not be able to see it very well on stream because it's downscaled. Oh, that was nasty. So they're a bit cheeky there. We kind of used their own mechanics against them. Do the same here. Of course, the gun crew further up the hill hasn't seen anything. What's that? We're the only one. We're the only two guys still firing rockets in this entire camp. Nonsense. It's kind of worth rifling through things. You've got lots of little bits to find, like there's little documents you can get that give you more backstory. I think I've already got them all on this level, so they might not even show up. Like you can kill a colonel and take his, you know, you can get the intel off of him. What it sounded. He was way too happy to get shot in the face. Oh, the look on that guy's face. Yeah, let's demonstrate the just how far you can go with this. Let's hold on the button. You can get the flaming gun for things. Dynamite doesn't go very far, so be very careful with it. Basically, when they turn their backs, the sound starts. Oh look! Oh no! There's dynamite lodged in our weapons, and we didn't notice. You know, so they won't notice the sound of dynamite landing or grenades landing when the sound cover's on. Of course, that also goes. The blast was so big, I lost the whole fifth of my health.
Nebelwerf is neutralized. I might as well check the ridge.
Yeah, of course I could have just sniped the crews. That's a really nice tutorial. You know, it just kind of drops you in, lets you do your own thing. And it never really pressures you into, you know, like, this is the way you're supposed to shoot, or this is the guy you have to kill first. It's a little bit like Mega Man X or a Super Metroid. You know, it's that kind of tutorial where you don't even realise you're doing it until afterwards. You're like, holy shit, I actually learned a lot there. That level's also fantastic in co-op. Like the gunner crew turns their back and two of you just go, you know, just like sneak in and stab them both while their backs are turned to the Nebelwerfer. Or Nebelwerfer. Playing cards, the sniper nest, the war diaries, the long shot, the optional objective, Total shot distance 479.98 meters.
We
Not bad.
lost to Brook, but my work had drawn the attention of British naval intelligence. They've been following one of Hitler's protégés sent to Africa, a ruthless advocate of nerve agents in the last war, General Franz Wahlen. Their informant, close to Wahlen, has gone dark, so they want me to investigate. My first port of call is the Gaborone Oasis, an Axis transport hub. Scout teams and commanders pass through here, along with intel. I have the cover of darkness on my side. There's a few officers in the area, so that's where I'll start my search. I can see plenty of elevation around the lake. Perfect to set up my rifle. If Valen's been here, there'll be a trail, and I'll find it.
That's actually a map of the area, so you kind of get a brief look at what's going to be coming up. I'm very likely to be spotted here, so I'm just going to edit this kit, do away with the pistol for a much better silenced one. In fact, let's have a look at the weapons. Just look at this. We've got the Grand, the Carcano, which was an Italian rifle. Gewehr 43, Lee Enfield, Springfield, Mosin. Camoed variants that have slightly different stats. 917 Enfield, SVT 40, again a camoed variant. K98, Springfield tuned, which just has crazy high muzzle velocity and damage. It's a brilliant rifle. The M1 Garand camo, the Japanese Type 99. It's by the IJA. Another K98, because why not, and a camoed SVT 40. I don't think they're releasing any more guns for this game anymore, so I think that's pretty much the whole thing. The big advantage, of course, is that bolt actions tend to do more damage and have higher zoom, whereas semi-autos are more useful in a fight, you know, if you get spotted. Let's actually drop one of those trip mines, and we'll take some armor piercing rounds. Those are something you have to manually put into your gun. You can also customize your sniper rifle. They've all pretty much got the same bonuses. Oh wow, why have I chosen one with terrible zoom? So stupid. Oh, fixed magnification, that might be why I chose one. Increases recoil, fixed time magnification. You know, I think I'm pretty much going to have to take that one because the zoom level is terrible. You can't get any snipers for the rifle. Sorry, silencers for the sniper rifles. But you can change the barrel tip for things like reduced recoil or boost muzzle velocity, increase recoil. It's a bolt action. We don't care about recoil. We're not going to get another shot off before it's settled anyway, so pointless. We really want something that will just decrease the scope wobble here, but it harms damage as well for some reason. I don't really get why, you know, it's all very gamey. I'm just going to stick with this dynamo. I don't really care about the scope wobble, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go into slow-mo and shoot them anyway. That's a nice boost of damage. I think the K98 might actually be the rifle that does the most damage in the game. So what happens is those four stats you see, those bunch of stats you see there rather, let's go back in, just affect how the rifle behaves in game and how its bullets behave. For example, scope wobble, self-explanatory, it's how much the scope bobs around. Muzzle velocity is how fast the bullet flies, so you'll have to compensate more for lower muzzle velocities. You know, you'll have to compensate for more drop, more windage, because it's got more time to be affected by the wind. So everything's more severe with a low muzzle velocity. Zoom is, again, pretty self-explanatory for the scope. We're going to see how that fixed scope behaves. I'm not really sure how that's going to work, to be honest with you. I'm guessing I just don't get the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Recoil, again, self-explanatory. Higher values are worse. You just want to kind of keep that as low as possible, but in the case of bolt actions, doesn't really matter. You know, bollocks to them. and damage, again, self-explanatory. That's more for if you get spotted, you know, and you're just firing off the hip, not going for vital points. You know, just trying to slow the enemy down while you get away. You know, a high damage value like that's going to kill someone pretty much no matter where you hit them in the torso. Whereas if I only had, say, a quarter of that, it might take 2 or 3 rounds to put someone down. Let's have a quick look at the other weapons, and then we'll move on with the mission. The Sten, the MP40, the Thompson, the Panzerschreck, I believe, are the standard weapons in the game. They're all rather good, actually. For some reason, the Thompson does absolutely minuscule damage. In fact, all the SMGs do the same damage. I've actually modded the Thompson. I believe... Have I modified? No, you can't. I don't know why the Thompson has more. Oh no, it's comparing it to my old gun, because I'm an idiot. Never mind. Of course, the Panzerschreck's massively useful. Something you really want to be careful about firing off. The rest of the guns were added in Royal Italian Army SMG. Very nice. The rest of the guns were added in DLC. You know, it's kind of worth it. They had a lot more variety. It's amazing how much more replayability is in the game just for having the extra guns, because they really do feel different. And here you can see all the different scopes. Do we have a proper German? Oh, yes, there we go. 1A Special, the default scope in the game. I think the last one you unlock is the Fine Crosshair Detailed. Of course, that's like the standard mil-dot type sight. It's obviously the best of the bunch. You know, we're just going for a German-themed kit here, apart from the pistol, so we'll go with the German scope as well, just to show the difference there. This is the Bravo kit. Let's begin. The armor-piercing rounds are great against vehicles. You don't need 2 shots when you hit the grill on the engine. It's like it just goes straight through and destroys the engine in 1 shot. Which makes them magnificent for stopping trucks that are bringing in troops, or for killing a tank, even. You know, because the back of the tank, the engines, the fuel tanks are protected behind the grill. And you've got to get around through the grill, and like, you know, the tank's going to hear the shot and turn. You're not going to get another one, so...
That's loud enough to cover my rifle fire.
Fancy a bit of knife throating? Of course. You earn XP based on your actions. You know, so killing someone isolated, tagging them.
This is a good place to use my binoculars.
Yes, let's use our binoculars. You know, it's 10 tags active at a time. I think that might be higher on easier difficulties. But of course, you've got custom difficulty as well, so you can really tune the game to how you feel like you want to play. I already kind of know where everybody is here, so I'm just kind of skipping through and tagging them instead of searching. Apart from one bloke who seems to have buggered off. There he is. Tagging's super useful because it lets you see them through walls, like you get that white silhouette. Of course, some things I can actually shoot through, like those clock tents. See the glowing weak point on the vehicle there? That's where the arm-piercing rounds come in. So, yeah. The generators, also another function, sound cover again. Oh bollocks, I missed him. It was far enough away that it didn't matter. Generators tend to provide reliable sound cover that'll last for a while. There are some generators, however, that only give you like 3 or 4 sound covers and stop working. Those are kind of more opportunistic. So we had Overwatch in the all area, so we took him down first. And now we can kind of pick off these guys that are isolated. So, Captain Barbecue here can go down first. I don't know, let's try and get him.